Hi everyone, welcome back to Art 371, Intro to Video Projection Mapping. Today's lesson is sort of a little mini lesson on how to prepare content, for Touch Designer, but for really any of the video projection mapping software we're using, because we want to talk about codecs for a minute. Codecs are sort of the wrapper that a movie file is inside of. So you've seen lots of different video codecs out there, MP4s, .movs, QuickTime movies. You've seen AVIs on PCs. There's a lot of different codecs out there. And today I want to talk to you about one that's called the HAP codec. So let me bring that back for a second here for you. So HAP codec. And this is really set up specifically for live playback. So this was, I believe, developed from the folks from a company called VDMX as a codec, but it really uses the hardware on your machine instead of a software codec to be able to play it back without having any major lag issues. Because when you start having like a ton of different channels of video in a live mapping scenario, you can start to get lag. So HAP is going to help with that considerably. You can download the HAP codecs for Mac or for PC for different codecs, different things out there. But what I'm going to show you is how to install this exporter for Adobe Creative Cloud. This one says 2018, but it works all the way up through the current one. But you can do like HAP codec. Oops, sorry, I'm spelling that wrong. Codec download into your search. And you can find all sorts of different codecs. There's a QuickTime codec if you want to download it, install it there. There's QuickTime for Windows. I believe there's also one for like FFF MPEG, which a lot of people use on PCs for exporting. Here we go, now available for Windows, the HAP codec. So you can find lots of different ones out there depending on what video export you want to do. But I'm going to show you how to do it for the specifically for doing it for the Adobe CC, like I said. Okay, so you're going to want to come. I have a link to this in our lesson here, but this is the HAP X encoder for Adobe CC. And this is up on GitHub, but you can go ahead and just download the version that you need. So releases the plugin here. I click on this, and here it is. So you can get this for Windows, EXE, or for Mac. I've already downloaded mine. It's right here. I'm just coming back to the page we were on before. And you can go ahead and install it. This is the little installer package. It takes 2 seconds. You don't have to restart or anything like this. And this is going to give you support specifically for After Effects. I'm not sure if it works for Premiere. I think it does work for Premiere because it's Media Encoder. So you're going to send it to Media Encoder, and then it's going to work from there. But yeah, it's a really nice codec, and like I said, it's going to allow you to do a couple different things, high quality video, but it's also going to allow you to export video with what's called an alpha channel. And if you don't understand what an alpha channel, I think in the simplest terms, alpha channel means a transparent background, right? So you can read, like I said, more about what HAP is at hap.video, and then you can download it again. Just search for HAP encoder Adobe, and you'll find it out there. But I'll have this link, like I said, github.com/disguise-one/hap-encoder-adobe-cc-releases. And that's where you can download these two installers. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and hide that for now. And then I'm going to give you an example of what I'm talking about, just so you can fully understand. All right, let's hide that. So in After Effects, I've created a simple little animation here. This is like a 6-second long animation. This is just a couple of spinning circles with a little motion blur thrown on them, right? Now what's fun about this is I have done this just on like the black composition background, right? There's no actual, nothing in the background here. So as long as I don't put like a solid color layer or a video layer or anything in the background, there really is no layer here. Under composition settings, I have a background color, but it doesn't really have to be anything because that's not going to export if I export this in a codec that supports alpha channels. If I export it in a one that doesn't support alpha channels, well, then you're going to get the black background or whatever background color I set there under my composition settings. But in this case, I've gone ahead and sent this to Media Encoder. So here's my Media Encoder that's up. Let me just refresh it. So you'll now see under all of your codecs when you add a video that you have HAP, H-A-P, listed there. And when I click on that, I have a couple of options. I have HAP Alpha only, HAP Alpha, HAP Q, alpha, HAP-Q, and HAP. So standard HAP is just sort of like the lowest file size, but still decent quality version of HAP, okay? I can click on it and have all of the export settings that I want to adjust inside of here for video. Usually doesn't have audio for something like this, so you know, HAP is really a video, but you know, you can export audio with it. It's just most of the time with video mapping, you're not exporting audio as well. I could turn on use maximum render quality if I want, like I do in some of my other codecs. I could come through here and decide, you know, obviously my frame size. If right now I'm just matching the source of my composition, which was 1920 by 1080, but I could always unclick that and change that frame size. Yeah, so once I have that, I'm ready to go. I can go ahead and save it. Now I've already saved a version of that, so I'm not going to save it again. I'm going to show you, however, under HAP again, there's HAP-Q, and that's a higher quality version of HAP. HAP is a compressed format, even though it's a lot higher quality than like an MP4. The regular HAP is compressed a little bit. HAP-Q is like the highest quality version of HAP. It's going to be a much bigger file size though too. Like if I look, that's a 6-second animation. It's 30 megs, which is pretty big for a 1920 by 1080 6-second long animation with not a lot of color or anything like that in it. So these can get really big really fast, especially if you have a lot of dynamic motion and color. So that's HAP-Q. Again, I could click on HAP-Q. Nothing else really to change in here other than, you know, use maximum render size, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Now, so I've already saved one of those. I can't really like preview it in regular QuickTime. You can preview it in QuickTime 7. If you download the old QuickTime 7, it will play it because I've installed the like QuickTime codec so for HAP. So I can play it there. I don't think like VLC will play it. I'm pretty sure VLC crashes when I try to do it. Don't reopen. Sorry. Yeah, last time I did this, I believe it made a crash. Yeah. VLC does not like HAP either. So, you know, I can't just preview it the normal way. If I bring it into regular QuickTime, like the most modern version of QuickTime, it has to convert it first, and then it still has an issue opening it. So I've only been able to like preview it in QuickTime 7 or by dragging it back into After Effects or Premiere or whatever. But, you know, this is a final export, so we usually don't have to do that. So the other option we have here is to do HAP alpha, and now this will have a transparent background, right? And I'm going to show you what this looks like when we bring it into Touch Designer. So I can choose HAP alpha, and then there's HAP alpha Q. And then there's like a HAP alpha only, which I believe, actually let's try that real quick. I haven't done the HAP alpha only, so I'm not sure what that's going to do. So let me do and rename this real quick to my desktop. HAP alpha only. Okay. We're going to see what these all look like. So this is only 6 seconds long. It spits out pretty quick and done, right? All right, so cool. I'm going to go ahead and quit After Effects for right now. And I'm going to go ahead and quit Encoder. So here's my 3 movies. I have the HAP Quality, which is the Q. I have the HAP Blur, which is my, I believe my one with an alpha channel. Let me rename that so we have alpha. And then I have the one that's like alpha only. And we're going to look at the 3 differences between that when we're inside of Touch Designer. All right, so I'm in Touch Designer. I'm going to go ahead and add a movie file in. Okay. And let's just go ahead and copy this 3 times since I have 3 different movie types. And let's load those clips. So let's grab alpha. There it is, and you can see no background behind it. You can actually still see the checker box, which means there's an alpha channel. Just like this, which was probably, I think, a PNG. What was that original banana? I can't find it. Anyway, I think that was probably a PNG file. But let's click on that and choose the second one. This is alpha only. Ooh, I'm not sure what we've got going on there. I don't think it gave me a whole lot. And I'll have to look into that one for you. And then one, which is the quality, the Q. And you can see that has its black background. Now if I had done quality alpha, it would be alpha with the higher quality, right? So let's see what these look like, what the advantages of learning how to create content with a alpha channel, right? All right, so let's bring in the Cantan mapper. That was up here under mapping, under my components, bringing in Cantan. All right, I'm going to pulse open the Cantan window there. And let's go ahead and add in a couple of new groups. So I'm going to go ahead and add this guy. And so I'll bring my movie file 1 in first to show you what it's like. Actually, I'll bring in number 3, the quality, first. So let's drop that in there. So there we go. I have a black background, obviously. I can map this to my heart's content, but no matter what, I'm going to always have that black background behind it, right? So let's go ahead and add another one, but this time we'll do the alpha channel. And we're going to overlap it, and you're going to get to see what's so cool about using alpha channels. So I'm going to drag this one down into my texture window and activate it. Now check this out. You can almost already see it, just slightly overlapping. I can make this sit on top of the other animation, and it has a transparent background. So cool, right? So I could have multiples of these, which is really fun. And let's go ahead and make another one. And I'll bring the same guy into its texture channel and activate it. And now you can start to see what happens when you have, oops, sorry, wrong tool. When you can make these multiple guys sit on top of each other and kind of work together, right? You can have all these multiples looping on top of each other. It's using the same clip, kind of an instance of the same one over and over. I'm going to try one more to see if I can figure out what this just alpha only is doing. It might be for like pre-multiplying one layer on another layer. I'll see if I can get a good example of that for you. Moving forward, rectangle 4. Let's see what that guy does. Interesting. Well, not sure. I'm going to have to look into that one because there's nothing there, so it's giving me this like default grid. Interesting. So we'll go ahead and delete that one. So yeah, you can have a lot of fun with this and make multiple layers on top of each other with the alpha channels. And the HAP codecs, like I said, are going to help you with playback down the road versus having a ton of MP4 files. MP4s, you know, they're using an MPEG-4 codec, which actually has to have software running on your computer. It takes up more CPU power because it's basically having to like decode it while it's also playing it back live. It's adding this one more layer, where HAP uses your built-in, believe the graphics processor for playback. So it's hardware instead of software based, and again, doesn't add more computing time and more lag time to your overall presentation. So you're going to really see a difference of using HAP as you make big multi-video compositions and more complex mappings. I will say the files are big. They're not as small as an MP4 will, so you got to have enough hard drive space to use them, so keep that in mind. But if you have a decent external hard drive, you should be all set. So download the HAP codec, try it in your compositions moving forward. It's a good kind of best practices. And definitely try creating a video with an alpha channel and bringing that in for today's lesson. Bring that into your Touch Designer setup and have some fun. All right, that's it for today. Thanks for tuning in.